You want to kill two people? Okay, well let me put you on a mission here, and just go sit down. I'm gonna put a plague all over this place and stuff, and you ain't gonna be able to do nothing about it. Just go sit down, sit down, right? And then how they were acting up, but they were Jesus's friends. It's like, if you're gonna pick a friend, pick somebody that been through something, right? He was picking all these people because basically these people were going out and doing his marketing, right? It was very strategic what he was doing, right? It was a plan. I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool to have some titles of books and they would just be controversial? Inside the book would be something to help you, but the title would be jarring. It would be like, what did she say? So I did the books, and I think I talked about this maybe a couple of years ago, but I did the books, and then after a while, things just kind of started going different for me. So then I had a different frame of mind, different thinking. It's kind of like, you know, when someone passes away and then we do something out of the ordinary, we stop eating and we would normally be eating, or we're hanging out with friends, but now we don't hang out with friends, right? So it was kind of like one of those times where things were changing, and I just thought, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to just step out there, and I'm not going to worry about what people think about the titles, because when you really actually pick up the book, it's something. There is something in the book that can help you. So I'm going to show you these titles, and of course, there were people, I believe, this is what I believe, that were scared to purchase the titles, or it went against what they believed, right? So I can't have this book on my bookshelf. So, but me, I just thought they were so funny. And so you're going to hear noise because I live near the freeway. So there's that. So here's one of the titles. It's called All My Secrets and the Stuff I'll Never Tell. Right? So this was kind of like, what? It's contradictory. Here's my secrets, but the stuff I'm not going to tell you, right? So inside it, it's just things that I'm telling you, but it's more so a journal. And I just did a video on journals, so I'll tag that, because it's kind of like, I used to tell people, no, don't do a journal for your first book, and then here I am doing it, right? So this book, I talk about owning your trauma. And let's see what else I was talking about. Let's see. Be brutally honest, right? Stop impressing others. Don't embellish or exaggerate, right? And then the rest of the book is a journal. So there's more in it than that, but I just wanted to let you know that, this book, and then I wanted the book to look like the books we used to get them back in the day when they were like Cliff Notes. They were all yellow, and everybody would try to get it because it was like the shortcut to something, right? It's like somebody had written a book, but there's a Cliff Notes book for it, so you can. It was basically almost like cheating, right? So people would be like, "I'm just going to get the Cliff Notes, and then I'll know what it's all about," right? So and I guess people do that with like what is it, Wikipedia and things like that, where they go and find out about what actually happened in a movie. So same thing, but in book form. So that's one of the books. Let's see. This next one is a doozy. How to Lie to Your Pastor. Yeah, feel good reasons for why you don't pay tithes. So yeah, this one is very controversial. So it's just kind of like, what, you want me to lie to my pastor? People do it all the time. So there's that. So the church is a business. Why are they doing? What are they doing with my hard-earned money? Right. Let's see what else we got in here. The only people who tithe are those who can afford the 10%. and not feel that pinch. My money goes out in many directions and you want 10% of it, right? So this is a question that was in there, right? And then I had written something on that. Let's see. The pastor has an airplane and I'm not funding his fuel. So, so there's just little stories in here about that type of thinking. But the church is a business. I mean, people may not want to say it because it's a community-based organization, but it is a business, so they need to fund it, right? So anyway, it's also a journal, but there's some good things in here as far as people will be thinking one thing about the church, about religion, about all of that, but have you thought about it that it is a business? And when you're going there to the church, you are giving an offering or you're tithing because you're just basically helping the business. But then there can be this other part where people are profiting and then the people are not being helped, right? So it's two-sided coin, right? So pick and choose which side. So that's one book. Another, and then here's another one. Jesus was a gangster. Now this I do believe, right? Because Jesus was down there in the trenches with the people. He was out there. So, yeah. So, and this says Jesus was a gangster and other hood shit in the Bible, right? You see this title, you don't you don't want it. You don't want the book. But what's in it, right? What's in it? So, I had went through I think the 12 disciples. My friend said I left one out. But okay. Okay. I talked about the Last Supper. Then let's see, Andrew, James, Matthew, just summarizing the people, right? And then how they were acting up, but they were Jesus's friends. It's like if you're gonna pick a friend, pick somebody that been through something, right? He was picking all these people because basically these people were going out and doing his marketing, right? It was very strategic what he was doing, right? It was a plan. So then, of course, it is a journal. So, and then I list bad people in the Bible because, we like them because they give the juicy stories. It's kind of like, tell me all about the people, the hood people that was out there, just doing the dirt, just causing all the havoc. And then here comes Jesus. Okay, what are you doing? Oh, you want to tear up this little, marketplace over here. All right, go ahead. Oh, you want to kill two people? Okay, well let me put you on a mission here, and then just go sit down. I'm gonna put a plague all over this place and stuff, and you ain't gonna be able to do nothing about it. Just go sit down. Sit down. So, yeah. So I just talk a little bit about, just people that intrigued me that weren't so great. Weren't perfect at all, but we were so, and we meaning me, are intrigued by them, right? If you ever want to hear about some hood stuff that went on, some, just theft, prostitution, people taking other people's wives, people beating people up and then getting the strength to just keep going, or just, God giving them what they needed to persevere, right? I lost everything, but then here you come giving me everything, And so all of that's in the Bible, and people don't realize it. And I heard Steve Harvey say one time that all these stories, these movies, these books, and all of that we're seeing, it's just rehashed Bible. So you may have a friend that has a story, you may have a story, and if you go back and really look, it is in the Bible. It's just a different version of it. It's different people. It's you and Rolanda and, and Barry or whoever, and y'all did something, and it's three people in the Bible that did that same thing, but they didn't have a gun. Or, it wasn't a prostitute right now, it was a prostitute back then, right? So, yeah. So, I wanted to just share these books with you that even though I wrote them and they weren't popular titles, they are good books. I won't say that they're the best books, but they are something to read, and then also jotting down your own experiences so that you can put together your own book, right? Putting together what you have been through in life, right? So, yeah, I just wanted to share those with you because they are very significant. It's like if I wanted to get rid of the books, I could say, okay, I'm not going to have those books at all. I'm just going to throw them in the trash, right? You can't, because somebody has the book out there in the world. There were some people who did get the books and they have an appreciation for it because they think kind of like me, like, oh yeah, I like cuss words. Oh, what? This is something that challenges what the church has got to say? Oh yeah, give me it. Give me two, actually, right? So even if I wanted to take those books out of my catalog or my portfolio of books, it's out there, right? So I just own up to what I've done. There was a period of time where I said, oh God, what am I going to do? I done put this out here and now, I can't even pull it back if I want to because people have seen. And then I said, you know what? You don't have to be embarrassed about who you are, the things that you've done, the books you've written, the things that you're proud of or not proud of. You just write it and then you will be supported. Because even when I just thought, okay, the titles, I wanted to pull them back, my friend was like, girl, I need the one. Jesus was a gangster. I need that. Right? So it's like, oh my God. And it was just kind of like justifying my thinking, justifying how I was thinking at the time that I had written the book. And like I said, it's not a long book, but it's a journal, right? And then, but there is something significant in there to think about, right? So that's one thing about a journal. When you put out journals, put something in there to prompt people to think about, to help them start writing their own story. So don't just make it blank pages. I know that people like journals. I've said this before, and they buy them. They're into them. That is a whole industry in itself. Journals, how they look, what they say on them, they're beautiful and that kind of thing. But if you can, in your journal, put something that's going to help someone. How is this going to serve someone? And so then basically you would use that as a tool to speak from when you go speak in public places, when you're on the stage, or you're just talking to a group of people. At least you have something that can help somebody. If it cannot help anybody, then why are you doing it, right? Who is it serving, right? What problem am I solving by putting out this book, this journal, this piece of work, this masterpiece? So I hope this helped you, and I'll see you next time. And make sure you subscribe and like this video. Take care. Bye-bye.